Adventure Lodges of North America was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. The journey begins on Canada's west coast, in the province of British Columbia. We're cruising above the Great Bear Rainforest, the largest temperate rainforest left intact on the planet. Here on the Pacific coast, where heavy rain and a moderate climate create ideal growing conditions, trees have been free to grow without natural interruption for hundreds of years. Their immense size makes them commercially valuable. Nearly half these ancient forests have been logged. Many are still under pressure. Deep inside this rare ecosystem, there's an adventure destination existing in balance with the Great Bear Rainforest. We find it in a quiet harbor on Princess Royal Island, 400 miles north of Vancouver. Whether by boat or float plane, visitors get a taste of what's to come simply by arriving at King Pacific Lodge.
Great.
Welcome.
You got this? Welcome. Welcome. Let me grab that for you.
How are your travels? We'll bring everything inside for you. There's a champagne welcome.
Where did you get
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the first experience that everybody goes through. It's just landing on the dock. That's the first time they really sense that they're in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
In a place where the nearest road ends far away, manager Ken Beatty's job is to ensure the seamless fusion of nature with comfort.
A lot of work goes on behind the scenes during the season and before the season to make sure we can provide luxury in the wilderness. If I don't have everything perfectly planned out by the first day we open our doors, I'm chasing my tail.
If finding a 3-story luxury resort in a remote bay seems unusual, there's an even more uncommon feature. King Pacific is a floating lodge, anchored to the shore.
This is an old Army Corps of Engineer construction barge. And at one time there were 5 cranes on this barge that would move materials back and forth in order to construct dams.
Michael Uehara, president of King Pacific, took part in its construction.
The construction itself was a mammoth task. We had a marine architect and we had a building architect. Below the waterline, it's all marine code with closed hatches and sealed hatches and, airtight containment and stuff like that. And above the waterline, it's all building code.
From May to October, King Pacific is moored to the island. By operating as a floating lodge instead of on land, King Pacific minimizes its impact on the rainforest. Each year, the vacant lodge is towed 95 miles north to the city of Prince Rupert for maintenance and to safeguard it during the off-season. In season, up to 30 visitors at a time enjoy stays of 3, 4, or 7 nights. Many of these guests experience a transformation.
King Pacific Lodge and the Great Bear Rainforest, let's say, affects people in a very profound way. People come up and say, this place is so rich of life. That's true, but what it also is, it's devoid of all those things we're used to in a city. There's no internet, there's very little phone connections. None of the city matters anymore when you're up here. And I think people reconnect with themselves in a very deep way.
Here, life abounds everywhere. That's what this place is about in so many ways. So many ways you can't even describe it in words. You have to be here to experience it.
Harmony Ziegler is the adventure guide at King Pacific Lodge.
We kind of think of the activities that we do here in 2 different levels, 2 different, totally distinct areas. One, we start right at the sea level here. So just out from the lodge, 5 minutes away is the rainforest, the temperate rainforest.
Every day we're doing two different things because we do an activity in the morning and an activity in the afternoon, and they're so different. Today we went fly fishing. We saw porpoises and whales and sea lions and bald eagles, and each excursion is completely different and breathtaking in different ways.
We have done all kinds of things, from sea kayaking to bear tracking and seeing some great bears.
The wildlife that we see here, whales, you could see orcas, humpbacks, a variety of marine life.
A colony of sea lions resides near the lodge, a sure sign that King Pacific blends in with the environment. The lodge offers guests a further dimension on the rainforest. A spectacular flight over the Great Bear takes guests to a nearby river for some of North America's most challenging fly fishing.
Sometimes I call it kind of combat fishing because it's full on. You got a 15-pound salmon in a river on a single-handed rod. You got to be fighting.
I caught a 26-pound Chinook salmon. We caught some rockfish, some trout, some pinks, about everything that you could have ever hoped for to catch.
Lots of fishing.
Love fish.
To have a property of this quality in an isolated and completely remote location is unique. And it's a uniqueness that I think, we've enhanced.
Michael holds great respect for this region and for its First Nation people, the Gitgat. King Pacific works carefully with the Gitgat to sustain harmony between the lodge, the rainforest, and its people.
Our whole product is about the environment. Without the environment you see around here, it's going to be very difficult for us to have a product. So it is a matter of, self-interest and enlightenment for us to ensure that that product exists for us to make available to our guests.
By striking a balance with the rainforest, the lodge offers guests the opportunity to view one of the rarest animals on Earth, the Kermode, or spirit bear. King Pacific relies solely on native Gitgat guides, like Bruce Reese, to help guests view the bear.
Because he generally pops out and comes down on the beach early in the mornings. It's not a guarantee that you'll see him the first day.
Some estimate there are only 400 spirit bears, all living solely in this region. A recessive gene in this black bear subspecies produces its creamy coloration.
We're gonna actually do a tasting menu tonight, so
sweet.
everyone gets to try a little of everything.
Back at
The
King
starter-
Pacific, head chef Perry North and his assistants prepare gourmet meals, fusing modern cooking techniques with local methods.
Basically, you use what local knowledge, how to use the things that are there, how to cook certain types of salmon, how to use certain types of berries, different flavors you get from them. There is natural plants you can use in cooking as well. Juniper, there's wild juniper, cedar even sometimes for certain flavors.
Wow. So you have to just shut up your house and everything every time they come through. The food is incredible, I have to say. Starting with breakfast, all the way through dinner. There's a lot of it, and it's absolutely delicious. It's like 5-star dining.
Did
The whole table
the whole table just cracked.
It was quick.
I think the lodge raises the bar on luxury resort, wilderness facilities. Clearly was a 5-star setup from the word go. The staff was excellent. The food was incredible. The setting, you know, is hard to imagine anything any better.
When it comes time to depart King Pacific Lodge, no one leaves unchanged by the experience.
One of my guides, Norm, says, when the guests get off the plane, you shake their hands. When they leave, they give you a hug. It's simple, but it's absolutely true, and happens to every single person that comes to visit King Pacific.
Leaving the awesome beauty of Canada's Pacific coast, we cross British Columbia into neighboring Alberta's Rocky Mountains. Banff National Park is the starting point for our next adventure destination. We ride out from Warner Stables in Banff, following the trail west along the glacier-fed Bow River, Healy, and Brewster Creeks. This is the way in to Sundance Lodge. Millions of people visit Banff National Park each year, but only a few have the chance to see this remote stretch of valleys, alpine slopes, and mountains. Fewer still get to feel its pull from the cowboy's point of view.
It's magic, actually. It's you've got the whole area as your playground, and getting back to nature is just a really good feeling.
Our guide, Shane Boone, or Booner as he likes to be called, is a true cowboy, the living embodiment of the early riders who surveyed Canada's first transcontinental railway, and those who struck off from the known line into a new and unfamiliar territory.
The history and the tradition of the cowboy in the Canadian Rockies goes right back to the days of exploration up in these parts. A majority of that was right around the time that the Canadian Pacific Railway was surveyed. There were outfitters coming up here checking out hunting areas and also prospecting, and whatever other reasons they might have to make money, they were coming up here.
These trails have changed little since the days of the early horsemen.
Riding in the Rockies today as compared to when the CPR first started opening these trails and promoting the outfitting in the park isn't all that different nowadays. We're pretty much riding the same trails, going through the same places in the same primitive nature.
Even the lunch stop at Healy Creek pays recognition to the ways of those first riders.
We're doing it pretty much the way they would have done it 100 years ago. Wooden matches, cooking over a fire. Not much has changed that way at all. About the only thing you could see on the trail that the guys would be doing that they wouldn't have done 100 years ago is maybe having a mag light flashlight on their belt. That's about it.
After lunch, the everyday world is left further behind as the ride to Sundance continues through amazing landscapes.
For scenery, you can't beat it. Undoubtedly the best scenery I've seen anyway.
On the Canadian Rockies, I just think are outstanding, and I've always remembered Banff and Alberta as the most beautiful place in the world, and I've always wanted to come back and just really be immersed in the mountains and be really up in it where, you know, the regular tourists just can't go.
This is the first time that I've tried the Western style and really enjoyed it. This is a really fantastic place to come for a ride.
Oh, the horses are all great. They're all well trained, and there's no problem riding them. They follow one another.
An easy all-day ride brings us to our destination. Nestled on a curve in Brewster Creek, with the Sundance Mountain Range just behind, is Sundance Lodge.
Well, when our guests arrive at Sundance Lodge, what they'll find is a two-story lodge set up against the base of a hill. The lodge accommodates 30 people. We've got guest rooms upstairs and downstairs. A very large, spacious, well-equipped kitchen. And after they pass through the kitchen, they'll come into a very spacious living room with another table that seats about 10 people, which you can either eat supper at or play card games, board games late in the evening.
The lodge's design harkens back to a time long past, while the building itself occupies historic ground dating to the 1920s.
Sundance Lodge was built on where the old corral used to situate for the historic 10-mile cabin, which was built about the same time as Halfway Lodge. It was a stopover point on the way up to Halfway Lodge. And 10-mile cabin is right next to Sundance Lodge, and that's now a private bunkhouse for our cooks and packers and such like.
Though the day's ride is done, Booner is still hard at work.
At the end of the day, when we come in from our rides, I'll check over the horse's feet. There's 1,000 reasons why a horse might pull a shoe off out here, and we have to be able to get it back on. Otherwise, that horse may not be able to go anywhere for, an unknown amount of time.
Early morning, the horses are saddled and ready. While some guests stay at Sundance for 2 or 3 days, others visit longer and continue the adventure with a ride to its sister destination, Halfway Lodge, a place even further removed from civilization.
There's so much open space, and you can ride for days and not really see anybody apart from the guys that you're riding with.
We've seen hardly anyone on the whole ride up. We saw 2 people, and it was really nice. You feel like you're actually out in the middle of nowhere, so it's great.
Near the end of the valley, at an altitude of just over 6,000 feet, is Halfway Lodge, so named for its location between Banff and Mount Assiniboine Lodge to the south. Basic but comfortable, the lodge reflects its remote setting.
When our guests arrive at Halfway Lodge, what they'll find is more of a cabin. It's quite a bit smaller than Sundance Lodge. The maximum capacity for our guests there is 14 people, shared through 4 or 5 bedrooms upstairs.
The kitchen, eating, living area is all in one small room with a stove is right in the middle of that area. So it's much more intimate.
Guests on a 6-day lodge ride spend 2 nights at Halfway before riding back to Sundance. After a season working at Halfway, Beth Olexi numbers herself one of the lucky ones.
I think that it's paradise, that there's no other place that you could live that's as beautiful and diverse and as rugged as the Canadian Rockies. I'm blessed to be able to live here and do what I do, and I love what I do.
Stunning location with the views out the front windows to the west at the end of the valley. Glaciers and snow-covered peaks all around.
I think it's a very spiritual experience. Being around cowboys and people that work on the ranches are just salt of the earth people, and so they're just a real pleasure to be around. The setting is just very peaceful, very serene, like you don't want to leave.
This is where I'm happiest, working with horses and working with people out in the bush, getting to share the Rocky Mountains with folks from all over the world.
From high in the Rocky Mountains, we return to sea level on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Leaving behind the town of Tofino, we set a course for the heart of an ancient realm, Clayoquot Sound. This is an ecological rarity, one of the Earth's last old-growth rainforests. Left untouched, these forests are home to trees as old as 1,500 years. But logging has destroyed 3/4 of the rainforest, reducing its salmon and wildlife populations and threatening its very existence. Clayoquot Sound is also home to our next destination, the Outpost on Bedwell River. Accessible only by float plane or boat, this eco-safari lodge is part adventure getaway, part guardian of the last of the rainforest. A half-hour passage from Tofino brings us to the dock. Here, a carriage waits for the final leg of the journey in.
Come on, let's go. Yeah, Justin. Pete, let's go. Yeah, come on, yeah.
John Caton is the Outpost's manager. He and his wife Adele share this remote wilderness playground and their vision for its rebirth with their guests.
It's a choice that we've taken to live back in this area. And the only way that we could see on how to live here and maintain a lifestyle that we want to maintain was that we needed to build a wilderness resort and have people come and enjoy it with us. It's like coming to our home.
From May to September, the Outpost offers a blend of luxury and adventure in the midst of profound seclusion. Guest stays are 3, 4, or 7 nights. Each of the lodge's 11 guest tents and 5 suite tents has its own remote-controlled propane wood stove and Adirondack-style beds.
The beds are amazing. Felt very safe, actually. Very cozy, all the candles lit, just very romantic, very romantic.
It's a little bit like the Four Seasons, but in a tent. Very comfortable, yummy beds and linens, and just affording a sleep that's unlike what I get at home.
Even the 2 lounges are tents. The library, really a modern satellite internet cafe, and the Games Center. One of the Outpost's more unique features is its outdoor living room.
The outside living room was something that we had done at our own home, and it just grew into the camp idea.
The outdoor living room, love the concept of it. It's like Architectural Digest out in the open. It's cowboy chic.
Guests at the Outpost savor another luxury, its wide choice of activities.
Our activity base here at Clayoquot Wilderness Resort Outpost is really varied. I mean, being right on saltwater estuary, Pacific Ocean on one side of us, and this incredible valley on the other side that makes you think that you're in the bloody Rockies.
We just did so many things that actually I think are really life-altering for me. I had never kayaked before. That was fantastic.
Kayaking, amazing. Just being out there, going through the estuaries.
Another way to explore Clayoquot's network of watercourses is by speedboat.
We take people out in the Zodiac and go a boat safari in a 12-passenger Zodiac. We can have people come here for 3 days and think they should have stayed for 5 because of the amount of activities that you can do.
More than just an adventure destination, the outpost is committed to preserving its surroundings. Toilets turn waste into composted organic matter. Recycling and organic gardens reduce the lodge's impact on its surroundings. The lodge even has its own sawmill to make the best use of natural resources.
We use all the alder trees for firewood because in our camp, our hot tubs are wood-fired, our saunas are wood-fired, our boilers that heat the cookhouse, all our domestic hot water are all done by wood. So self-sufficiency is the big thing here.
Richard Genovese is the lodge's owner. He and John share the same goal. Not content to merely protect the rainforest, they're taking a hand in its regeneration.
When we began the Bedwell Sound project, we saw an area that had been decimated by logging, by mining. We saw that a number of the tributaries off of the river had been just ruined through logging and mining.
In 1960, an estimated 5,000 Chinook or king salmon swam these waters. 45 years later, those numbers dropped to 150.
The mining, the logging destroyed the side channels, or what we call spawning channels and rearing channels.
Spawning channels are small tributaries branching off the main river. Without these sheltered streams, salmon have nowhere to deposit their eggs. But the outpost is rehabilitating nearly 5 miles of these channels.
We've already started to see the results. Salmon are coming back. So we've got a long way to go. Salmon to bring back. The eagles, the bears, all of the wildlife that, you know, one wants to experience here.
A horseback ride extends the outpost experience deep into hundreds of acres of ancient rainforest.
Some of the horseback riding we have up the Ursus River Valley is in a forest that's an ancient old-growth forest that's never had a chainsaw in it. We have trees up there that are 60 feet in circumference with fern gardens that are as high as your waist on horseback.
Horseback riding along the Bidwell River, you feel like you're on Bonanza. Just out there in the most beautiful, just exquisite scenery. And hiking on the island, going kind of in and out of the trails and everything, just amazing, amazing.
They can go out and do all the activities during the day and get completely worn out, and then come back and just have a wonderful meal, be massaged, and sleep in a really comfortable bed.
It is the most amazing place. It feels like worlds away.
There's something in the air around here that gives people a sense of peace.
Departing the magnificent West Coast rainforest, we cross the breadth of this massive country, traveling east to the starting point of our next adventure. It begins in Montreal, Quebec. The Via Rail train pulls out of the station in Montreal on the start of its 220-mile journey into the north of Quebec.
For me, trains equal romance. I'm a French Canadian, but I'm East for everybody. Just the movement in the train, When you see outside on the window, through the window, you look at the scenery.
On a train, you can relax, and you can see things that you don't see when you're driving.
You leave your problem at home, and it's another world.
For many travelers, the attraction of this other world is its slower pace.
If you go Montreal to Toronto, this train goes 100 miles an hour. But here in the bush, you go 50 miles an hour, and you see better, and, you know, the scenery is fantastic. This is a train that stops all over the place because it's fishing and hunting places, you know, like lodges. And people like it, you know, because of that.
Though time seems to stand still, it's nearly 6 hours before the train pulls into the station near the shores of Lake Edouard. Nearby is the setting for a lodge steeped in history, La Seigneurie du Triton. Annie Tremblay and her husband Nicolas Bernard managed this old and venerable destination.
We have 3 buildings. One of them is called the clubhouse, which is the main building that was built in 1896. We also have Le Phonique, which is a newer building, was built 15 years ago. And this building, all the rooms have animal names, so it's very funny. When we give it to people, they like that, actually. We have a 3rd building, which is called the Betiskin.
It's fitting that guests who travel to La Seigneurie come by train. The lodge owes its existence to the railroad. In the late 1800s, British engineer Alexander Luders Light was commissioned to build a line into the north of Quebec. While on a survey mission, he realized the great potential in these lands.
So he was walking around in the woods to see where he could build a railroad that goes from Montreal to Lake Saint John. When he found a place here, thought it was a beautiful place, you know, to make a private fish and game club.
Throughout its 80 years of operation, Alexander Luders Light's Triton Fish and Game Club was one of several in the region. The Triton attracted many members, among them some prominent guests.
They received a lot of famous families here, like the Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Molson, Kennedy families. Roosevelt used to come here as well. So it was very, very special club.
One guest at the lodge was notable less for who she was than for how she occupied room number 3.
When it was a private club, was always rented by a couple, and they would be coming here every year. The husband would go out fishing and hunting, while the woman was living in the room, and she would stay there for 2 weeks drinking whiskey, and that's all she was doing. She wasn't even going out of the room or anything. They had to go and see her to see if everything was fine, if she needed something, or if she wants to eat anything.
For many years, the Triton Fish and Game Club was a popular destination for outdoor sporting enthusiasts. But in the late 1970s, the club's fortunes would change.
In 1978, the government decided to abolish all the clubs in Quebec because they wanted to divide the Quebec, you know, with free lands and some parks and reservation and stuff like that.
Soon after private clubs were abolished, interest in the lodge dwindled until 1985, when Annie's family purchased the lands. Yet despite the change from private club to guest facility, the new owners continue to honor Triton's roots.
we're always trying to keep it as much as it was. And also we have to improve sometimes, but we always think about it for a couple of months and sometimes a couple of years before doing anything and touching it, because we think it's very important to keep the history as it was and try to welcome our guests today and that they enjoy it as much as the Americans were doing while they were coming here when it was the private club.
Just like in days gone by, modern guests of Triton are drawn by its impressive array of outdoor pursuits.
People come for three reasons, actually. Either they come for outdoor activities, or hunting, or fishing.
Open from May until mid-October, La Seigneurie's activities vary with the seasons.
In May and June, it's most fishermen. Also in September, fishermen are coming and they go for brook trout fishing. And also in July and August, we have pretty much families coming here for both activities, so fishing and outdoor activities.
We have 12 lakes and 1 river. All the lakes are head lakes. They are all small lakes. The biggest lake we have is about 2 kilometers long, about 1 mile long.
These 12 lakes are home to a wealth of trout, a great attraction for devotees of fly fishing.
The fish we have is strictly brook trout that we have on all the territory. The average size of the trouts that we take is about 10 to 12 inches average.
Successful anglers can look forward to Nicholas and his kitchen staff preparing their catch.
During the afternoon, we can smoke their trouts if they want the trout smoked for the evening. We smoke the trout with a very secret recipe with different ingredients, pretty good. And people can enjoy the trouts added to the regular menu they have in the evening.
A popular feature at La Seigneurie is the shore lunch.
For lunch here, we have the shore lunch. So the cook's going out in the woods, cooking a hot meal on the barbecue grill, and everyone goes there. Every fisherman goes there. Every person who went for hiking or canoeing, they come back there for lunch, and it's a very nice place. You're in the middle of the woods, just in front of a small lake, and the ambience is very casual. So people love to go there. You can do kayaking and canoeing. You can go hiking as well. You know, we want people to be in the woods and feel a little bit like the Americans used to do.
Guests at the lodge are invited to take part in regular excursions to pick wild mushrooms.
In the fall, we go in some hiking trails and we can pick some mushrooms.
Just look at that mushroom. It's really beautiful mushroom, but you can taste it. It's really bad.
So we make sure that they are good mushrooms we can eat, and then we can cook them and serve them to you in the dining room. The Triton's future has to remain pretty much the same because we always said that history is important, and that history makes us, today.
Leaving historic Quebec, we travel west across Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, crossing into the interior of British Columbia. Moments after leaving the town of Golden, we're soaring high above a magnificent landscape, the Selkirk Mountains. Older than the adjoining Rocky Mountains, the Selkirks stretch from Washington and Idaho into southeastern British Columbia. This rugged chain was once a daunting barrier to construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Today, it poses different challenges. Visitors wanting to reach our next destination won't get there by road. The only way in is by helicopter. A 20-minute flight takes us to a pine-fringed meadow near the tree line. This is Sentry Mountain Lodge. Husband and wife team Mike Macklem and Alex Nitschke, together with business partner Tim Stiles, built Sentry with only 4 guest rooms, allowing for a maximum of 8 visitors at a time. Their goal was to create an exclusive, intimate experience.
Sort of our key was to make it as home-like and comfortable as possible, make it closer to an open B&B style where there weren't people kind of chasing after you.
Stays at Sentry are for 3, 4, or 7 nights. At an elevation of nearly 7,000 feet, it's little wonder guests rarely encounter walk-in visitors.
It's quite remote end of the range, and we've never seen any other people up here. We just have this whole place to ourselves. Endless valleys and peaks to explore in the area.
You know that when you go out and go hiking, you're going to encounter no one but the people that are there at the lodge.
Mike, Alex, and Tim designed the lodge to offer guests year-round access to hiking and skiing, along with clear, spectacular views.
We're pretty much centrally located on the terrain, so either hiking or skiing, you can access all points of the terrain from here readily. But we've got an amazing view of the Rockies right out of the dining room window, and that was really important to us.
This is gonna be shiitake, mushroom.
In the kitchen, Alex and assistant cook Billy Velasek get ready for tonight's dinner. Alex uses techniques she acquired while she and Mike were living in France.
And that's actually where I fell in love with food and cuisine of all sorts.
Okay, so for the salad, we're gonna have roasted pears.
I went to a lot of cooking schools, and just living in France, all the fresh produce, all the fresh markets really got me focused on food.
Like, wedge it right in there? Did you push that? Yeah. Okay.
When she and Mike returned to Canada, Alex applied her skills to their newest passion.
When it came time to build the lodge, that's definitely the focus that I wanted to have. Was the complement to the beautiful scenery was having really good food. So you're here for the activity, but to complement that, you're also here to have really good food and a nice place to just sit and relax.
That's for you. Oh, nice. I'm gonna take it out for me then. I don't want anyone to mix it.
Alex cooks with fresh ingredients from her garden and fruit from her apple and plum trees. Other ingredients can sometimes be a problem.
Every single thing, from the food to everything in construction that we have up here, is flown in by helicopter. And then you might have that odd occasion that one box was left at the hangar and didn't make it to the lodge, so you have to be really ready to improvise.
Nice.
Almost every meal at the end, we're kind of piecing together, like, oh, what do we have left? What's still on?
And also, you might get someone who all of a sudden decides to be a vegetarian and tells you, and the best laid plans just have to go out the window.
At the end of the day, guests enjoy a night spent under goose-down comforters as the lodge settles into a profound and unbroken quiet. Morning at Sentry brings the promise of adventure. Today, it's a guided ridge hike along some of the area's most awe-inspiring terrain.
One of the main benefits of being guided, essentially, is that we know the terrain that we're traveling through. We can get to the best possible spots with the minimal amount of work. The ridge lines here are somewhere between 500 and 800 feet above the lodge. So within 20 minutes to half an hour outside the lodge, we're up in terrain, just like you see around us now. And even for people who have a moderate level of fitness, that's an attainable thing to get up into the onto the ridges and enjoy the vistas from here.
Up here, it isn't the walk that takes your breath away.
Well, this place is nice because it's complex, it's interesting. The ridges twist around each other, and you come around a corner and you always see a nice little view and then go over a hill and see something else again. So full of little surprises.
Hikers returning to the lodge have had all day to anticipate the reward of Alex's gourmet dinner.
The food here at Sentry, in our opinion, is like eating in a five-star restaurant. The menu is varied, it's interesting. I think it's challenging for the cooks, and it's appreciated by the hikers.
As soon as you come back from hiking, you'll have an après hike or an après ski appetizer, and then we ease you into dinner, which is several courses as well, and always a dessert. It's a good way to finish it off.
Absolutely perfect. I might taste it.
Alex and Billy work like maniacs, putting this stuff out all day for us, and it just adds an extra element that you don't really expect to experience this far out in the middle of nowhere.
When you're looking out the window and seeing the beautiful Rockies and eating a nice plate of food, it just puts it all together for me. It's a great experience.
It's a great way to meet people, to break boundaries, and to just share. And with the Helicopter Access Lodge, we have a captive audience.
Everyone's coming here for a reason, whether it's wintertime for skiing powder or summertime for hiking. So I think the main draw is an outdoor, adventurous type person that wants to come into the backcountry and stay in a lodge that's maybe slightly more comfortable, with maybe a little bit more of a focus on the food service. So our clientele lands age-wise maybe late 2030s, leading into anywhere up to actually 78 in the wintertime up here skiing.
The winter is great here. I've come up a couple of times. It's just an interesting place to ski.
With the arrival of winter, Sentry Lodge undergoes an amazing transformation.
We like the idea that there are no ski mobiles, ski lifts. It's just the helicopters come in and then they're gone, and we have peace and quiet for a week.
The biggest value about coming to Sentry again is the way that the terrain's laid out. Easy access to great tree skiing from the lodge.
Lots of great tree skiing, steep runs, mellow runs, great ridge runs.
And we have some nice longer tours. We can ski over towards Sentry Mountain. We have some nice big loop tours up on the ridges, which give us nice overview for when the traveling's good.
All right, folks, we can get our skins on here.
Every morning we meet after breakfast and just put the skins on our skis and walk over to follow Tim around to the corner and hike up to a nice ridge top and get ready for the run down and have a good powder run and walk back up again.
Getting out into the high country and the quiet and the silent snow is just paradise for me. It's paradise.
Because we're in the Selkirks, the dry powder that we get every winter has clients coming back year after year.
The average snowpack here is about 10 feet, midwinter snowpack, settled snow.
Though perfect for skiing, these high-altitude, heavy snowfalls can also bring considerable risks.
We are in avalanche terrain at Sentry Mountain Lodge. We have fully certified ski guides working for us that help to ensure the safety of the guests.
Make sure
We do have avalanche safety protocols in place.
Despite the chance of avalanches in the region, the lodge building is safely located.
It's really safe in terms of avalanches in the winter. We won't get any avalanches coming on us.
At the end of a day's skiing, the lodge's Finnish-style sauna is waiting.
By the first night, people are starting to have a good time. They've been out, they've skied together, they've had a couple of great runs. They come in the lodge and there's already something common to talk about. And it just makes for a quick bonding.
It rejuvenates a person from the rat race of life. You come out here to get away from the TV, the telephone, to come out here and unwind for a couple days and relieve the stress. It really brings a person back to appreciating life and what it means.
Let's do a dance later.
When it's time to leave, many guests at Sentry Lodge know they'll be returning.
Well, I've been here, this is my third time, and I keep coming back because it's such a great lodge, and never had a bad meal. I enjoy the guides.
I think really what we do is honest. We want to bring a part of us and give it to everybody that comes through. And I guess a lot of that is being Canadians and our love of the outdoors and sharing that with everybody that comes through Sentry.
The lodge is just beautiful, the food's wonderful, the guides are just great, and it's just a very special place to us.
Canada is one of the last places on Earth with vast reaches of untouched, isolated wilderness. Here, there is something for every kind of adventure traveler. From rustic lodges in pockets of pristine beauty to secluded world-class luxury. Whatever the objective, for those who seek to leave behind the everyday world, adventure beckons, where remoteness begins. To learn more about Adventure Lodges of North America, visit pbs.org. On our next episode of Adventure Lodges of North America, we'll travel to awe-inspiring wilderness, the rugged forests of Oregon, and north to the high country of Alaska. These remote, unspoiled places are the backdrop for lodges where half the adventure is getting there. Adventure Lodges of North America was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you. The adventure begins in the far reaches of America's northernmost state. The flight leaves Anchorage on a course set for the wilds of the Alaskan interior. This is a vast region. At a size of 1/5 the area of the continental United States, Alaska contains some of the most isolated wilderness on the continent. Before the advent of air travel, transportation here was difficult, time-consuming, and sometimes dangerous. Even today, its mountain ranges and immense distances can make some locations hard to reach. The float plane takes us to one such place, roughly 200 miles northwest of Anchorage. Nestled on the banks of a long, narrow lake is Winter Lake Lodge, one of 2 adventure destinations owned by Carl and Kirsten Dixon. Though they were both dedicated medical professionals in the early 1980s, Carl and Kirsten always felt the steady pull of the wild.
I'd keep looking out that office window and see the mountains, and boy, I wish I could be up there today instead of in here with babies with earaches. Although I really enjoyed that work, and I sure loved working with the native folks, the desire to be out of doors was really overwhelming.
Carl and I have been living in the backcountry of Alaska since 1983.